Well, hello everyone. Hopefully you had a great weekend. Briefly, I have no idea what time it is. It's Sunday night at some point. so I'm not seeing it anywhere. So we're not going to go look, go track it down. That's for sure. Well, hey, at the end of the presentation, please review our disclosures. Okay, going to start off with a couple stocks. This is, of course, our public version. Of course, we would hope that you, if you like this, of course, click like and subscribe so you can track our work here. Now, this is a partial publication of our work that we provide in the rare membership and fundamental trends. And I would encourage you to, of course, join us in that group and, of course, benefit from all of our work. Now, Mentus has been on our radar for quite a little bit. This was Kirk's buy down here, off of this 2 drive. And, we did really well on push 1. And now we're scaling in towards, mid next year. I'm in it was either June or July calls at that point, but I have 5, 750 and $10 calls into next year. And I know many people in our group do as well. But we're looking for 50% back off of this leg to maybe 1447. Now, IIPR, of course, we talked about that last week. It is now above and closed above the breakout line. So I think that 127 is on deck. So it's a nice move from this 83 bucks where we are now. Now, Juma Tech, this thing has some huge upside. I really was hesitant whether I was going to put this out in the free work, out in the public domain or not, or keep it in the group because it has so much upside. I mean, we're looking at a $3.69 stock. My intermediate wave 1 is 28 bucks. I mean, that's, 10x. Not quite 10x, 8x. This is a long-term position trade, and we definitely are looking for some significant upside. Now, NTR, I think we did really well last week. We closed on the high of the candle. We held our base. We had a primary trigger here, wave trigger, and a primary wave trigger here as well. Quite often the primary wave likes to back test the trigger. Or the setup, excuse me. It's a good spot to start scaling in, and we do have significant upside around 80 bucks on this to the upside going into next year. Now, Intel, I actually just milked this cow. I mean, it was just a fantastic trade so far. We had entry down here off of our weekly trigger, nice flat to come out of, so we came in, at 24 bucks. And, we're looking for this back test maybe to 42. Now, you could add a position there because it's still a nice run up to 46. Intel's options are really good. So you could just trade the monthlies, go give yourself at least 6 weeks out, wait for that floor to come in at 42 and buy at the money or just outside the money calls 6 weeks out. At least 6 weeks out, do the monthlies. And then, just let them get into the money. 20, 30, 40, 50%, whatever they get in the money, and rinse and repeat on the upside. Now, the only thing here is once we get up to that 46, we're going to get a decent back test. So you want to consider that. Obviously, I would suggest that you follow us in Rare so you can keep tabs on this because we do publish this every week in an article that is for our members group, members only. All right, so let's look at Square here. Now, this thing's starting to get a little euphoric. We're hitting the 50-day right now. So our next target's about 105. And let me jump to our next section. Now, Amazon, we've got a covered call alert out on this because we do think our top comes in around 153. And then we do have a significant drawdown, about 25 bucks. So, I thought I would include that in our public article today. Then BRKB, we've been in covered calls for quite a little bit here. That 362, we got some rejection. I wanted to close above that. We're now rejecting that. Looks like we're going to put in an intermediate wave 4 here. I think this whole count resets because it's off kilter a little bit. So this could be A, B, and we could get a C back down here and sort of invalidate this high side. So, at that point, I wouldn't add a position here, but that's just my thought. If you happen to see that when we posted it prior. Looking at American Tower, now nice push. We got this across the board. Real estate seems to believe that, or Mr. Market seems to believe that the Fed is going to get very aggressive and drop rates here. And they seem to have completely forgotten about the commercial office space vacancies just because Amazon wanted to buy a commercial property in Florida. I don't know. That's the only thing I can figure it is. So I don't think this stays to the upside very long. So maybe we print that 216 on our intermediate wave B. then we start to flush again. So that's my thought. All right, let's look at Ford. Now, this is going to be a great buy down at $8, but right now, I would buy some puts if you have common position, right at the money, do the monthlies, give yourself at least 6 weeks, rinse and repeat. I typically, when I do this, I buy on Monday and I sell on a Thursday before noon. And the reason I do that is because how the commercials buy and sell their positions. Typically they're dumping positions Thursday into the close. And typically on Friday, they're adding positions. So I sort of want to see what they do before I enter into a new position, which is why I like to do that on Monday. Just giving a little heads up there. But, we would suggest selling some cash secured puts at $8 down there once we get there. All right. Kinder Morgan's in this spot. Nice push last week, though. Nice. We could push out of this. We sort of broke down. I think we break down. And part of the reason is because I just see this lackluster demand. And as long as, if Saudi Arabia, it would be in our direction on the trade. I'm thinking to the downside. There's some rumors that Saudi Arabia is going to flood the market to try and push out U.S. shale again because we've got too big. So usually those rumors come from the horse's mouth kind of things, at least from where I heard it from. So, that's a very big likelihood. And obviously that would just really hit Kinder Morgan and midstream. So that's sort of the look. And right now, many stocks are lagging, but we also got a pump on the OPEC's cuts. So, I think we roll over here. I think this, unless we get back above our B, which would be back above 1850, then I might, the count might change its mind. Again, I'm just a spokesperson for the count. All right. Now, we nailed the top. We suggested cover calls at 492 or buy puts at 492, and we got one more high out of that, and then we rolled over. And now, those are definitely working. If you did those, we're looking for 435. And of course, I suggest that you join us in Rare, our membership, and of course, follow our work there as well. Now, Paramount, I think our top's just about in here at 1634. It could push, 50% of the leg's a little higher. It's up around $23. So, you could push up there, and it really wouldn't have done anything wrong, wouldn't invalidate the downside. The one key thing with this chart is, our low is 1010, and we came down and we basically back tested that low, right? And we haven't broken below there. So if we're going to fail, it's going to be pretty quick. I don't think we stay here very long. That would be like just a dead cat bounce kind of thing in my thought, just the way that Elliott wave works. Now, looking at KKR, nice push, but we're sort of toppy here. Ironically, we could completely change with that candle because, closing on the high side of the candle with me, and here's interpreting Elliott wave and momentum. I classify it in two categories: FOMO, fear of missing out, and full fear of loss, right? Because they're two camps. When a buyer or an investor is afraid of missing out, they start buying. Okay. So emotionally, we make bad decisions sometimes when we're buying because we like to buy up here. And, quite often you get this last push right after that and it's done. Well, it's sort of count. We're pushing our wave 3 or our minor wave 5 now. We're above the count. The count's actually down here. So it pushed above that. So we could reset next week to the upside, but I don't know that that's the case. And part of the reason is because of how this structure is. I would like a back test of my trend support line, which basically encompasses this low and this low. We've tested it. So I would like at least 50% back of this leg before I get excited to the high side. And that's what the count suggests we're going to do. So we're going to put the 3 a little higher high around 77. So it's going to flush the 4, put in our 5, which is our primary wave 3. This is an intermediate wave. And then we put in our 4. And then we go up to put in our 5. Now 3 is the longest wave. So historically, 5 is similar or equal to wave 1. So it's about this long. This ABC type pattern here. So once we put in this 4, our 5 should get us an ABC up here somewhere around 85 or $90, somewhere in that range. And that's where I think we go. But right now I have this on a covered call watch, so to speak. It's not for a new entry. Now, Pfizer, this has just turned into an absolute slow bleed. I think with COVID waning or the severity of COVID waning, I haven't been watching the data of how many people are actually taking the most recent vaccine. I know I haven't. And I know my father didn't because he caught COVID. at 87. About killed him, but he's made it through it. So, he'll probably take it now, though. So, but I just don't see this recovering yet. I've got a target of 25 here. Then we might get back out of this. But to be honest with you, I don't know really that I have an interest down here on Pfizer, unless something new comes into the pipeline that catches my attention. Because we definitely need a catalyst. Because we went from a $40 stock to a $60 stock. So we grew 50% because of COVID. And then boom, COVID was over and it was done. And we gave back more than the COVID move. So, that to me is indicative of some structural problems in the stock. So, but that's what I have for this week for the public version of Primary Waves. Please like and follow, folks. And, we'll see you guys next week. And please do come join us in our rare membership. Until next time, great trading, folks.